Nothing hits harder than the man she undervalued, becoming calm, happy, and impossible to control. Folks, let's be honest. She thought you would keep explaining. She thought you would keep chasing. She thought one cold reply, one distant mood, one little pullback would send you right back into proving your worth again. And for a while maybe it did. You texted more. You tried harder. You stayed patient when you should have stepped back. You gave her your loyalty, your time, your masculine energy, and she started treating it like something guaranteed. My friend, that is where many men lose themselves. They think the answer is to make her understand, but the more they explain, the smaller they feel. Stoicism teaches a different response, not revenge, not drama, not trying to make her jealous. The real response is peace. You stop reacting. You stop begging to be valued. You detach from her control upgrade in silence and build a life so strong that her approval no longer decides your mood. That is what affects her most. Not your anger, not your pain, your calm, your happiness, your results, your ability to walk away without collapsing. In this video, you will learn what truly hits a woman when she fails to value you, and how to become the kind of man who no longer chases disrespect. Subscribe now if you are ready to stop proving yourself and start standing in your power. Let's get into it. Number 1. Stay calm without her. Folks, the first thing that hits a woman who undervalued you is not your anger, it is your calm. She expected you to panic. She expected the long message, the late-night call, the emotional speech, the question every man asks when he feels his value slipping. What did I do wrong? But when you do not give her that reaction, something changes. Let us be honest. When a woman has gotten used to your emotional availability, she starts believing she can move your inner world. A cold reply, and you start explaining. A cancelled plan, and you offer another one immediately. A few days of distance, and you start checking your phone like your piece is sitting inside her notification. My friend, that is how she learns where the buttons are. Think about Michael, 51, from Dallas. He had been seeing Karen, 47, a woman who knew how much he cared. At first, Michael was grounded. He worked hard, stayed in shape, had friends, and carried himself like a man with direction. Karen liked that. She felt his steadiness. She felt his desire, but she also felt that he still belonged to himself. Then the dynamic changed. Karen started pulling back. Some days she was warm, other days she acted distant. When she went cold, Michael chased warmth. He sent long texts, explaining his intentions. He asked if something was wrong. He tried to be more patient, more available, more understanding. He thought calm meant tolerating confusion, but inside he was afraid. Karen could feel that fear. Not because she was cruel, but because people feel when they have power over your reactions. His mood followed her mood. His confidence rose and fell with her attention. His masculine presence became tied to whether she chose to be sweet that day. Then one week, Michael stopped reacting. Not in a dramatic way. No angry speech. No blocking. No public post. He simply became calm. When Karen replied late, he did not question it. When she sent a dry message, he did not try to warm it up. When she cancelled plans without much effort, he said, "No problem, take care," and returned to his evening. That kind of calm is different. It does not beg. It does not accuse. It does not shake the door, asking to be let back in. It stands still. And that is what hits hard. Because when she no longer gets the emotional response she expected, the control starts slipping. She may not admit it. She may act unbothered. She may even test harder for a while. But inside the dynamic, something has shifted. The man she thought would bend is no longer bending. The man she thought would chase is no longer running. The man she thought needed her mood to feel whole has gone quiet inside himself. This is Stoicism in real life. You are not pretending you do not care. You are choosing not to be ruled by what you care about. There is a massive difference. A weak man hides his feelings and calls it strength. A Stoic man feels them, watches them, and refuses to let them command his behavior. So when she undervalues, you stay calm. Not cold, not bitter, calm. Keep your schedule, eat well, train, work, sleep. Do not let her distance manage your day. Do not let her silence decide your confidence. Do not let her lack of appreciation turn you into a man begging for basic respect. Michael did not become powerful because Karen suddenly changed. He became powerful because he stopped changing every time Karen did. That is the lesson. If you are ready to stop letting her mood control your peace, comment, "I stay calm." Stay with me, because the next lesson shows why ignoring her pullback can break the control she thought she still had. Number 2. Ignore her pullback. Folks, when she pulls back, do not chase the gap she created. That gap is information. It is not an emergency. It is not a command for you to panic, explain, apologize, or prove your worth all over again. The moment you rush toward her distance, you teach her that pulling away is enough to control you. Let us be honest. Most men fail right here. She becomes cold, and they become warmer. She delays, and they answer faster. She gives less, and they give more. She creates distance, and they immediately try to close it. They think they are saving the connection, but in reality they are showing her that her absence has more authority than their self-respect. Ignoring her pullback does not mean acting childish. It does not mean pretending she does not exist. It means you stop rewarding distance with desperation. You stop treating every shift in her energy like a crisis that needs your attention. A grounded man does not chase someone back into valuing him. He lets the pullback reveal what is real. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Read that slowly, my friend. If her pullback can make you abandon your calm, you are not free. If her silence can make you beg for reassurance, you are not free. If her mixed signals can make you forget your standards, then she is not the only problem. Your attachment is controlling you. This is where Stoicism gives you strength. You do not control her mood. You do not control her interest. You do not control whether she comes closer or steps away. But you control your response. You control whether your hand reaches for the phone. You control whether your mind builds a painful story. You control whether you stay centered when her behavior tries to pull you off balance. So when she pulls back, observe. Do not chase. Watch what she does with the space. Does she return with respect, consistency, and warmth? Or does she expect you to run after her like before? That answer matters. A woman who values you will not need you to destroy your dignity just to keep her interested. A woman who only enjoyed your attention will become uncomfortable when that attention stops feeding her. And yes, she may test the silence. She may post more. She may act colder. She may send a small message just to see if you still jump. Stay calm. Do not let your ego turn every little signal into hope. Do not let your fear turn every quiet moment into panic. Silence is only powerful when you stop looking for proof that it is working. Ignoring her pullback also protects your masculine presence. When you do not chase, denure, your energy becomes less available. Your words carry more weight. Your time feels more valuable. She no longer feels that she can create distance and still receive full access to your attention. That is the moment your frame returns. Not because she changed, but because you stopped giving distance a reward. That is not cruelty. That is self-respect. The old you may want to explain. The old you may want to ask what changed. The old you may want to remind her how much you care. But the stronger version of you understands this. If she cannot feel your value while you are present, your absence may teach you both the truth. So let her pull back. Let the space exist. Return to your work, your body, your peace, your purpose. Do not stand at the edge of her silence waiting for permission to feel valuable again. You already are. If you are done chasing her distance, comment, "I protect attention." Stick with me, because the next part shows why detachment hits harder than anger ever could. Number 3. Detach from her power. Folks, detachment is what breaks the invisible leash, not anger. not revenge, not pretending you are suddenly better than her. Detachment means she no longer gets to decide your emotional weather. If she is warm, you stay steady. If she is cold, you stay steady. If she disappears, you do not disappear from yourself. Let us be honest. A woman only has emotional power over you when your peace depends on her behavior. If her reply makes your whole day better, she has power. If her silence makes you lose sleep, she has power. If her attention makes you feel masculine and her distance makes you feel worthless, then your center is not inside you anymore. You handed it to her. Think about Robert, 55, from Phoenix. He had been involved with Angela, 49, a woman who knew exactly how much he wanted her. When Angela was affectionate, Robert felt alive. He dressed better, worked harder, smiled more, and moved through the day with confidence. But when Angela became distant, everything in him shifted. He checked his phone at red lights. He reread old messages. He wondered what he had done wrong. He started measuring his worth by how often she chose to be warm. That is not love, my friend. That is dependency with romantic language around it. Angela did not have to control Robert with force. She only had to change her energy, and Robert changed with it. If she pulled back, he leaned forward. If she delayed, he became anxious. If she acted unavailable, he became more available. He thought he was being patient and loyal, but really he was training himself to orbit her mood. Then something shifted. Robert got tired of being controlled by a woman who was not even giving him consistency. He did not block her in rage. He did not post some dramatic message. He did not try to make her jealous. He simply began detaching. He stopped checking his phone first thing in the morning. He stopped treating her silence like a crisis. He stopped asking, "What is Angela feeling today?" and started asking, "What kind of man am I becoming today?" That question brought him back. Detachment is powerful because it removes the emotional reward she used to get from your reaction. When you no longer panic chase, explain, or bend, she can no longer use distance to pull you into the old pattern. She may still be attractive. She may still cross your mind. You may still feel desire. But desire no longer owns your behavior. That is the difference between a weak man and a disciplined man. A weak man feels something and obeys it. A disciplined man feels something and chooses what aligns with his self-respect. Stoicism is not about killing emotion. It is about ending emotional slavery. You can miss her without messaging her. You can want her without lowering your standards. You can remember the good moments without walking back into the same disrespect. That is real masculine control. And this is what she may not expect. She may expect your anger. She may expect your sadness. She may expect you to chase. But she does not expect you to become emotionally unavailable to manipulation. That is what detachment does. It makes you harder to reach with old tactics. Robert became calmer. His workouts returned, his business focus returned, his sleep improved. And when Angela noticed his energy was no longer chasing her, the whole dynamic changed. But by then, Robert was not doing it for her reaction. He was doing it because peace felt better than obsession. So detach from her power, not from your humanity, not from your desire. Detach from the idea that one woman gets to decide whether you are strong, wanted, valuable, or complete. If you are ready to take your center back, comment, "I detach fully." Let's keep going, because the next lesson shows why stopping your explanations can hit harder than any argument. Number 4. Stop proving your value. Folks, stop trying to prove your value to a woman who has already seen your loyalty and still chose to undervalue it. That is a hard truth, but a necessary one. If you have to keep explaining why you matter, why your effort matters, why your presence matters, and why your heart deserves respect, then you are standing in front of the wrong judge. Let us be honest. Many men turn love into a courtroom. They present evidence. They explain their intentions. They remind her of everything they have done. They bring up the nights they stayed, the patience they showed, the times they forgave, the sacrifices they made. They think if they can just say it clearly enough, she will finally understand their worth. But my friend, when someone is committed to not seeing your value, more explanation will not open their eyes. It will only drain your spirit. This is where most men lose power. They think explaining is strength. Sometimes it is. A mature man can communicate, he can be honest, he can speak clearly. But when you have already spoken, already shown up, already given your best, and she still treats you like you are optional, another explanation is no longer communication. It is begging with better grammar. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That line belongs right here. Do not argue about your value. Live it. Do not keep telling her you are loyal. Be loyal to yourself. Do not keep trying to prove you are strong. Stand strong. Do not keep asking her to recognize your presence. Remove your presence from places where it is not respected. A Stoic man understands that his worth does not need a defense speech. He does not need to convince a woman to appreciate what she has repeatedly chosen to take for granted. He can speak once with clarity. After that, his actions speak. His distance speaks. His silence speaks. His standards speak. And make no mistake, stopping your explanations does not mean you become cold or childish. It means you stop wasting sacred energy on someone who keeps using confusion as a way to keep you standing there. If she says she does not understand, after you have explained yourself with patience, pay attention. Sometimes "I do not understand" really means "I do not want to be accountable." That is when you stop. You stop sending paragraphs. You stop rehearsing the perfect message. You stop trying to make her feel the pain she ignored. You stop proving that you were the good man in the story. Because the right people do not need endless proof. They notice consistency. They respect effort. They feel the weight of a good man before he has to beg them to see it. If you want deeper Stoic lessons on silence, boundaries, emotional control, and masculine self-respect, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go further, for men who are serious about stopping old patterns and rebuilding from discipline. Here is the move. Say what needs to be said once. Say it calmly. Say it clearly. Then step back. If she values you, your words will matter. If she does not, your repeated explanations will only become another source of her control. Do not give her that. Your value is not a debate. Your dignity is not a negotiation. Your peace is not something you should have to defend every week. When you stop proving your value, you finally start living like a man who knows it. If you are done explaining your worth to someone who refuses to see it, comment, "I stop explaining." Stay tuned, because the next lesson shows why your happiness without her becomes impossible to ignore. Number 5. Enjoy life without her. Folks, nothing shakes a woman who undervalued you more than seeing that your happiness did not die when she left the center of your life. She expected sadness. She expected confusion. She expected you to keep circling her silence, waiting for one warm message to bring you back to life. But when you start enjoying life without her, the story changes. Let us be honest. For a while, maybe your mood did depend on her. If she replied with warmth, your whole day felt lighter. If she went cold, your chest tightened. If she gave you attention, you felt chosen. If she pulled away, you felt invisible. That is how a man slowly hands his joy to someone who has not earned that kind of power. Think about David, 53, from Denver. He had been involved with Laura, 48, a woman who gave him just enough affection to keep him attached, but not enough consistency to make him feel secure. When Laura smiled at him, David felt like a young man again. When she ignored him, he could barely focus at work. His weekends became empty unless she was part of them. His meals tasted flat. His gym routine faded. His friends stopped hearing from him. Then, one night, David looked at himself in the mirror and realized something ugly. He had not lost Laura yet, but he had already lost his life. That was the turning point. He did not make a dramatic announcement. He did not post pictures to prove he was happy. He simply began returning to himself. Morning walks, early workouts, dinner with old friends, quiet evenings with a book instead of staring at his phone. He fixed the garage he had ignored. He took a short road trip alone through Colorado. At first it felt strange. Then it started feeling like freedom. And here is what matters, my friend. David was not enjoying life to punish Laura. He was not smiling so she would see it. He was not healing as a performance. He was remembering that happiness is not something a woman should be able to switch on and off inside a grown man. Not anymore. Not after everything he had already given. That kind of happiness hits hard because it removes her from the throne. When she realizes you can laugh again, sleep again, build again, and move through the world without needing her approval, she loses the emotional position she thought she had. You are no longer the man waiting outside her mood. You are the man living beyond it. This is not fake positivity. Do not confuse enjoyment with pretending nothing hurt. You may still miss her. You may still remember the connection. You may still feel the sting of being undervalued. But Stoic strength means you do not let pain own the entire house. You give grief one room, not the whole building. So choose simple joy on purpose. Train your body, cook a real meal, sit in the sun, call the friend you have neglected, drive somewhere new, listen to music without making every song about her. Work on something that belongs to your future. These small acts are not small. They are proof that your life still answers to you. A woman who undervalued you may expect your collapse. Let her meet your peace instead. Let her see if she happens to notice that your world did not end. But more importantly, let yourself feel it. The goal is not to make her regret. The goal is to become whole without needing her reaction. That is where your dignity becomes visible again and harder to dismiss. If you are ready to choose joy over emotional dependence, comment, "I choose happiness." Do not go anywhere because the next part shows why leveling up quietly is more powerful than proving anything online. Number 6. Upgrade in silence. Folks upgrade in silence because noise gives your pain an audience, but discipline gives your pain a purpose. When a woman undervalues you, she may expect the emotional performance, the sad posts, the bitter quotes, the obvious glow-up photos, the little hints designed to make her wonder if you are doing better. But a man with real control does not need to advertise his rebuilding. Let us be honest. Most men want their progress seen too quickly. They start working out, then post every session. They read one book, then announce a new mindset. They make a little money, then try to show the world they are winning. But if the goal is to make her notice, then she is still the center of your growth. You are not free yet. You are still performing for the woman who failed to value you. A Stoic man moves differently. He disappears from the drama, not into weakness but into construction. He does not tell everyone he is healing. He heals. He does not explain that he is becoming stronger. He becomes stronger. He does not beg the world to witness his discipline. He lets time reveal it. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That is the entire lesson. Stop arguing with her in your head. Stop proving your worth online. Stop trying to make your silence look powerful. Build quietly until your life itself becomes the proof. This kind of silent upgrade is dangerous to disrespect because it cannot be controlled. If you are posting every emotional shift, she can still read you. If you are reacting through songs, quotes, stories, and carefully chosen pictures, she still has a window into your mind. But when you go quiet and your life improves anyway, she loses the map. She does not know where your energy went. She only feels that it is no longer available to her. That is not revenge. That is redirection. Take the energy you used to spend explaining yourself and put it into your body. Take the attention you used to pour into her mood and put it into your work. Take the nights you spent replaying conversations and put them into sleep, prayer, study, training, money, order, and peace. Build your strength where no one is clapping. That is where the real man returns. And do not make the mistake of thinking silent growth is passive. Silence is not laziness. Silence is not waiting. Silence is not sitting in your apartment hoping she feels guilty. Silent growth is movement without announcement. It is early mornings, clean meals, hard workouts, focused work, better boundaries, fewer distractions, more control, less explaining, less proving, less emotional waste. The world is full of men who broadcast every wound. Do not be one of them. A man who must keep proving that he is fine usually is not fine. A man who is truly rebuilding does not need to convince anyone. His calm becomes different. His posture changes. His eyes clear up. His time gets cleaner. His standards sharpen. People feel it before he says a word. Here is the part that matters, my friend. Quiet progress protects you from sliding back. When nobody is watching, you find out whether your change is real. If discipline only exists for her reaction, it will disappear when she does not react. And if she ever notices, let her notice results, not performance. Let her see discipline, not desperation. Let her feel absence, not bitterness. The most powerful upgrade is the one that does not ask for applause. It simply becomes undeniable. If you are ready to build without needing her to watch, comment, "I level quietly." Stick with me, because the next lesson shows why no reaction can become your strongest answer. Number 7. Deny her reaction. Folks, the reaction she wants is the doorway back into your mind. Understand that clearly. When a woman has undervalued you, dismissed your effort, or treated your loyalty like something ordinary, she may not expect you to stay silent forever. She expects a crack, a comment, a message, a jealous question, some sign that she can still reach inside you and move something. Let us be honest. Many men think they are strong until they are baited. She posts something mysterious. She acts happier than usual. She goes quiet for days, then drops one small signal. She says something cold, then waits to see if you defend yourself. And there he goes, reacting again, handing her proof that his peace is still connected to her behavior. Think about James, 50, from Ohio. He had been seeing Michelle, 45, a woman who knew he cared deeply. When she felt him pulling away, she did not come directly with honesty. Instead, she posted little things online, quotes about outgrowing people, pictures from dinners, songs that sounded like messages. The old James would have taken the bait. He would have asked who she was with. He would have watched every story. He would have sent a text trying to sound calm while bleeding insecurity through every word. But this time, James denied her the reaction. He saw the post. He felt the sting. He wanted to respond. Then he put the phone down, grabbed his gym bag, and left the house. He trained. He finished his work. He called a friend. He let the emotion move through him without turning it into a performance for Michelle to watch. That is the difference between being triggered and being controlled. You may feel the trigger. You may feel anger, jealousy, sadness, desire, even the old urge to explain yourself. But you do not owe that emotion an action. A disciplined man lets the feeling pass through his body without handing it his phone, his voice, or his dignity. This is what she may not understand at first. No reaction is not weakness. No reaction is not fear. No reaction is not pretending you did not notice. No reaction is power under control. It tells her that the old buttons no longer work. The old hooks no longer catch. The old access to your nervous system has been closed. And folks, do not confuse no reaction with emotional numbness. You are not trying to become dead inside. You are trying to become free. A man who has to respond to every little test is not free. A man who can stay still while his pride is being poked is becoming dangerous in the best way. Dangerous to manipulation, dangerous to disrespect, dangerous to the old version of himself. So the next time she tries to pull a response out of you, pause. Do not comment. Do not explain. Do not send that message disguised as maturity. Do not ask mutual friends what she meant. Do not give her the satisfaction of watching you orbit her signals. Let the bait sit there untouched. James learned something powerful that week. Michelle could still create noise, but she could no longer direct his movement. That is inner strength. Not because he stopped caring overnight, but because he stopped making his care available for manipulation. Your silence is not empty, it is a boundary. Your stillness is not weakness, it is evidence that you have taken yourself back. When she cannot get anger, jealousy, begging, or sadness from you on command, she has to face a new reality. You are not the same man she used to control. If you are done giving reactions to disrespect, comment, "I stay still." Stay with me, because the next lesson shows why replacing her with peace cuts deeper than revenge. Number 8. Replace her with peace. Folks, replacing her with peace cuts deeper than replacing her with another woman. That is the truth most men do not understand. When a woman undervalues you, she may expect you to run towards someone new just to prove a point. She may expect jealousy games, loud posts, public flirting, or some desperate attempt to show her you have options. But when you replace her with peace, you do something far stronger. You stop needing a reaction. Let us be honest. Revenge keeps her in the center. If you post another woman just to make her feel something, she is still controlling your choices. If you act happier than you are, just so she notices, she is still the audience. If every move you make is designed to make her regret losing you, then, my friend, you have not moved on. You have only changed the costume of your attachment. Peace is different. Peace means you are no longer trying to win the breakup, win the silence, win the story, or win her attention. You are not looking over your shoulder to see if she is watching. You are not building a new life as a performance. You are building because chaos no longer deserves a home inside you. Epictetus taught that we should not demand life happen the way we want, but learn to accept what happens and move with wisdom. That lesson belongs here. You may have wanted her to value you. You may have wanted her to recognize your loyalty. You may have wanted her to choose you with the same energy you gave her. But if she did not, peace begins when you stop arguing with reality. A Stoic man does not replace disrespect with more drama. He replaces it with order. He replaces late-night overthinking with sleep. He replaces checking her page with training his body. He replaces begging for closure with creating a future. He replaces emotional chaos with quiet discipline. That is not soft. That is power under control. And make no mistake, peace is not weakness. Peace is not pretending nothing happened. Peace is not letting someone disrespect you and smiling like it did not matter. Peace is the decision that her behavior will not turn you into a bitter, reckless, desperate man. Peace says you may have failed to value me, but I will not fail myself because of it. This is where the old version of you has to die. The old version wanted proof. Proof she missed you. Proof she regretted it. Proof she still cared. But the stronger version of you no longer needs proof from someone who already showed you enough. He does not wait for her apology to become whole. He does not wait for her regret to start living. He does not wait for her pain to feel powerful. He chooses peace now. So replace her with mornings that do not begin with anxiety. Replace her with work that sharpens you. Replace her with brothers who tell you the truth. Replace her with clean food, hard training, quiet prayer, better sleep, and goals that make you stand taller. Replace her with standards. Replace her with the man you should have been before you started begging to be valued. That is what she may feel if she ever looks back. Not that you hate her. Not that you are broken. Not that you are trying to hurt her. She feels that the space she once occupied is no longer waiting for her. It has been filled with peace, purpose, and self-respect. And that is harder to compete with than another woman. Because another woman can look like revenge. Peace looks like freedom. If you are ready to stop choosing chaos and start choosing yourself, comment, "I choose peace." Stay with me, because the next lesson shows why your results can speak louder than every word you never said. Number 9. Let success hit harder. Folks, success hits harder than any speech you could give. When a woman undervalues you, your first instinct may be to explain what she lost, to tell her how loyal you were, to remind her of the man she failed to respect. But my friend, results do what explanations cannot. Results cannot be argued with. Results do not beg. Results stand there and tell the truth. Let us be honest. Most men want to be understood before they become stronger. They want the apology before they rebuild. They want her regret before they move. That is backwards. A disciplined man does not wait for recognition to start improving. He improves because his life is too valuable to leave in the hands of someone who did not value him. Think about Richard, 54, from Nashville. He had been involved with Sandra, 49, a woman who enjoyed his attention when it was convenient, but rarely respected his effort when he needed consistency. Richard spent months trying to make Sandra see his worth. He explained. He stayed patient. He sent thoughtful messages. He tried to be the bigger man while shrinking inside. Then Sandra pulled away like his presence was optional. For a few weeks Richard wanted to prove something to her. He wanted her to know he was hurt. He wanted her to admit she had taken him for granted. But one morning he realized his life had become a conversation with someone who was not listening. So he stopped talking and started building. He hired a coach and got serious about his health. He cleaned up his eating. He tightened his business schedule. He paid off a debt that had been hanging over him. He started dressing with intention. He reconnected with old friends. He stopped posting sad quotes, stopped checking Sandra's page, and stopped treating her silence like a verdict. 6 months later, Richard was not trying to look successful. He looked grounded because he had become grounded. His body was stronger. His voice was calmer. His calendar had purpose. His eyes did not carry that begging energy. If Sandra noticed that was her business, Richard no longer needed her attention to confirm what his discipline had already proven. That is why success hits harder. Not because it screams, because it cannot be faked for long. Anger can be performed. Jealousy can be staged. Happiness can be posted. But real success changes your nervous system. It changes how you walk into a room. It changes how you answer a message. It changes how you stop accepting crumbs from people who once had full access. And do not reduce success to money only. Money matters, yes. A man should handle his finances, but success is bigger than income. Success is emotional control, better sleep, a stronger body, a cleaner home, a sharper mind, a wider circle, a calmer spirit. Success is no longer losing yourself because one woman failed to appreciate you. This is the Stoic move. You do not chase justice from her. You build order in yourself. You do not demand that she regret losing you. You become the kind of man who no longer needs regret as payment. Your progress becomes the evidence. Your peace becomes the message. Your standards become the line she can no longer cross. Richard's greatest victory was not Sandra seeing him differently. It was Richard seeing himself differently. That is the kind of result that cannot be taken away. So let success hit harder than your words. Build where you used to beg. Train where you used to wait. Work where you used to wonder. Let your life become the answer she never expected. If you are ready to let your results speak, comment, "I build success." Stay close, because the final lesson shows how to become too strong to chase anyone who disrespects you. Number 10. Become too strong to chase. Folks, the final lesson is simple. A man who becomes too strong to chase is no longer controlled by the fear of losing someone who does not value him. He does not run behind disrespect. He does not beg for warmth. He does not compete for basic appreciation. He does not keep reaching for a woman who has already shown him that his presence can be taken lightly. That is not pride. That is self-respect. Let us be honest. Chasing usually begins as love, but it ends as self-betrayal. At first you tell yourself you are fighting for the connection. Then you start accepting less. Then you start explaining more. Then you start waiting longer. Then you start making excuses for behavior that would embarrass you if another man told you the same story. And one day, you look in the mirror and realize you are not chasing love anymore. You are chasing relief. Relief from uncertainty. Relief from silence. Relief from the fear that she may not choose you the way you chose her. That is where a man has to wake up. Becoming too strong to chase does not mean you stop feeling desire. It means desire no longer makes you weak. You can want a woman and still walk away. You can miss her and still protect your peace. You can remember the good moments and still refuse to return to a pattern that made you small. That is masculine strength. Not pretending you feel nothing but refusing to kneel before what you feel. The woman who did not value you may expect the old version of you, the version who explained, the version who waited, the version who checked her mood before deciding how to feel about himself. But that version cannot lead your life anymore. He served his lesson. Now he has to be buried. The stronger version of you moves differently. He does not need to be cruel. He does not need to prove he is over her. He does not need to post his progress like a performance. He simply lives with a standard that cannot be negotiated by beauty, attention, memories, or desire. If she respects you, she meets you with consistency. If she values you, she treats your presence with care. If she wants access, she brings effort, honesty, and maturity. And if she does not, you do not chase. You keep walking. That is the part most men struggle with. They think walking away means they lost. No, my friend. Sometimes walking away is the first time you have won yourself back. You win when you stop asking a woman to become the judge of your value. You win when her silence no longer destroys your mind. You win when her distance no longer pulls you out of your purpose. You win when your peace becomes stronger than your need to be chosen. Stoicism teaches that your power lives in what you control. You control your attention. You control your response. You control your standards. You control whether you keep pouring energy into someone who has already shown you how little she respects it. So become too strong to chase by building a life you refuse to abandon. Build your body, build your money, build your mind, build your discipline, build your circle. Build your morning so solid that one woman's mood cannot knock down your entire day. Build your self-respect until chasing disrespect feels impossible. And remember this, the goal is not to hurt her. The goal is to stop hurting yourself for her. The goal is not to make her regret. The goal is to become a man who does not need regret from anyone to know his worth. When you become too strong to chase, your presence changes. Your silence changes. Your absence changes. You stop being the man she could pull back into the old pattern. You become the man who stands, chooses, and walks away when respect is missing. That is the man she never expected you to become. And that is the man you should have become a long time ago. Folks, today you learned that what truly affects a woman who undervalued you is not your anger, your revenge, or your pain. It is your calm, your silence, your happiness, your results, and your ability to become too strong to chase disrespect. The value of this lesson is simple. Stop proving yourself to someone who refuses to see you. Stop reacting to every pullback. Stop explaining your worth. Build peace, discipline, and success until your life speaks louder than anything you could say. If you want deeper Stoic lessons on emotional control, masculine confidence, silence, and self-respect, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go further, for men who are serious about becoming stronger from the inside out. Subscribe to the channel for more daily Stoic lessons like this. If she treats you like an option, your loyalty becomes a weakness she can use. Folks, let's be honest. A lot of men stay too long with a woman who keeps showing them they are not a priority. She pulls away. She gives less. She looks at her phone while you are trying to connect. She cancels, delays, ignores, then acts like you are asking for too much when you finally speak up. And what do most men do? They chase harder. They text first. They explain more. They rearrange their life around her mood. They keep hoping that if they stay loyal enough, patient enough, and available enough, she will finally value them. But my friend, that is how a man loses himself. Stoicism teaches a different response. You do not beg for respect. You do not argue your value. You do not let one woman's attention control your peace, your purpose, or your identity. You step back. You regain control. You let your absence speak. You stay calm under pressure. And if her presence costs more than her absence, you learn how to let go. In this video, you will learn 10 Stoic ways to handle a woman who does not value you without becoming bitter, weak, or desperate. Subscribe now if you are ready to stop chasing disrespect and start standing in your power. Let's get into it. Number 1. Stop chasing her attention. Folks, the moment you chase a woman who does not value you, you teach her that your attention has no price. That is the first truth you need to swallow. Every time you text again after being ignored, every time you rearrange your day after she cancels, every time you act like her smallest reply is a reward you quietly lower your own position. Let us be honest. Most men do not chase because they are weak men. They chase because they care. They remember how she used to look at them. They remember the warmth, the closeness, the desire, the way she made them feel wanted. So when that energy changes, they panic. They think if they try harder, she will come back to the woman she was in the beginning. But my friend, chasing does not bring back respect. It usually buries it deeper. Think about Michael, 52, from Dallas. He was seeing Karen, 47, a confident woman who had a strong presence and knew how to keep a man interested. In the beginning, Michael had his own life. He worked hard, played golf on Saturday mornings, trained 3 times a week and had dinner with his brother every Thursday. Karen liked that. She felt his masculine structure. He wanted her, but he was not orbiting her. Then Karen started giving less. She replied slower. She cancelled plans with weak excuses. She looked at her phone when Michael was trying to have a real conversation. And instead of stepping back, Michael leaned in harder. He texted first, every morning. He answered instantly. He moved his schedule around whenever she suddenly had time. When she pulled away, he tried to become more available. At first, Michael told himself he was being patient, but deep down he was afraid. Afraid she would lose interest. Afraid another man would get her attention. Afraid that if he stopped chasing, she would forget him completely. That fear changed how Karen experienced him. His attention no longer felt like something valuable from a grounded man. It felt guaranteed. And what feels guaranteed often stops creating desire. This is where Stoicism cuts through the fog. You cannot control whether she values you. You cannot force her to respond with warmth. You cannot argue attraction back into her body or respect back into her mind. But you can control whether you keep pouring energy into a woman who is showing you less and less care. Stop chasing her attention. Do not text first every time. Do not check her stories like a man waiting for clues. Do not reply instantly when she has made you wait for hours or days. Do not cancel your plans because she suddenly feels available. Do not reward inconsistency with more devotion. That is not love. That is self-abandonment dressed up as loyalty. A woman who values you will not need you to beg for basic effort. She may be busy. She may have stress. She may have a full life. That is normal. But if she consistently treats your presence like an option, your job is not to prove harder. Your job is to step back and watch reality clearly. This does not mean you become cold. It means you become controlled. You can be respectful without being desperate. You can be warm without being available on demand. You can desire her without making her attention the center of your day. Michael finally understood this when he stopped chasing Karen's changing mood and returned to his own life. Golf came back. Training came back. His brother got Thursday nights again. And whether Karen noticed or not, Michael felt something stronger returning. His self-respect. If you are done begging for attention from someone who gives you crumbs, comment, "I stopped chasing." Stay with me because the next lesson shows why your absence can teach what your words never could. Number 2. Let absence hit her. Folks, your presence loses power when it is always available. That is why absence matters, not as revenge, not as a childish game. Absence is what happens when a man finally stops pouring his energy into a place that does not honor it. And when a woman has grown used to your constant access, your absence can speak louder than every explanation you ever gave. Let us be honest. Most men think staying present will make her appreciate them. They believe if they keep showing up, keep checking in, keep proving loyalty, she will eventually wake up and realize their value. But sometimes presence only teaches her that you will remain no matter how little she gives. Your consistency becomes background noise. Your patience becomes expected. Your love becomes convenient. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That line is the foundation here, my friend. You cannot control whether she respects you. You cannot control whether she reflects on your effort. You cannot control whether your absence affects her. But you can control whether you keep giving access to someone who treats that access like it costs nothing. Absence is not about disappearing to make her suffer. It is about removing yourself from a dynamic where your presence is being consumed, but not valued. You stop texting first. You stop offering your evenings to someone who cancels without care. You stop being emotionally available to a woman who gives you emotional leftovers. You stop standing at the door of her attention, waiting to be invited back in. And here is what happens when you do it correctly. The pattern breaks. She can no longer assume you will fill the silence. She can no longer rely on your quick reply to soothe her ego. She can no longer treat your time like a backup plan and still receive your warmth on demand. For the first time, there is space where you used to be. That space matters. People often do not reflect when everything stays available. They reflect when comfort is removed. They notice the chair when it is empty. They notice the voice when it stops calling. They notice the masculine attention when it is no longer reaching for them. And if your presence had real value, your absence will reveal it. If it did not, your absence will reveal that too. Either way, you stop living in illusion. A Stoic man understands that absence must be clean. Do not announce it. Do not threaten it. Do not say, "You will miss me when I am gone." That is not power. That is wounded pride begging to be witnessed. Real absence is quiet. You simply pull your energy back and place it where it belongs. Into your body, your work, your purpose, your peace, your family, your future. Do not use absence as a test you keep checking every hour. If you are silent but still watching her stories, you are not absent. If you are distant but still asking friends about her, you are not absent. If you are gone but secretly waiting for her reaction, your body left but your mind stayed behind. Absence becomes powerful only when you truly return to yourself. So let her feel what life is like, without your constant availability. Let her experience the silence your words could never explain. Let her sit with the space she created. If she values you, she will feel the difference. If she does not, you will finally have the clarity you needed. If you are ready to stop giving free access to your presence, comment, "I choose absence." Stick with me because the next part shows why arguing for respect only lowers your position. Number 3. Stop begging for respect. Folks, the moment you beg for respect, you have already stepped out of your power. Respect is not something you negotiate out of a woman who keeps showing you she does not care enough to give it freely. You can explain once. You can communicate clearly. You can say what you need. But if you keep asking for the same basic respect over and over, you are no longer communicating. You are pleading. Let us be honest. A lot of men think if they just explain their feelings better, she will finally understand. They write the long message. They bring up the same issue again. They say, "I just want you to see how much I care. I just want you to treat me like I matter. I just want you to appreciate what I do." And my friend, maybe those words are true, but if you have to keep repeating them to someone who keeps dismissing them, the problem is no longer your wording. The problem is her willingness to value you. Think about Robert, 55, from Phoenix. He had been seeing Angela, 50, for almost a year. Robert was steady, generous, and patient. He helped her with problems around her house. He listened when she had stressful days. He made time for her, even when his own schedule was heavy. But when Robert needed consistency, Angela acted like he was asking for too much. She would cancel plans, answer coldly, and then tell him he was being sensitive when he brought it up. At first, Robert tried to stay mature. He explained calmly, then he explained again. Then he wrote longer messages. He told Angela he did not need perfection, just basic effort and respect. But every conversation ended the same way. Angela would soften for a day or two, then fall back into the same pattern. And every time Robert brought it up again, he felt smaller. That is what begging for respect does. It shrinks you from the inside. You start questioning your own standards. You wonder if you are asking for too much. You begin accepting disrespect in smaller doses because you are tired of fighting for basic decency. Then one day you realize you are not in a relationship with mutual respect. You are in a negotiation where your dignity is always on the table. A grounded man does not live like that. If a woman values you, she will not need a courtroom presentation to understand that your time matters. She will not need 10 explanations to know that disappearing hurts trust. She will not need repeated emotional speeches to understand that consistency is part of adult connection. She may make mistakes, everyone does. But when respect is real, correction leads to change. When respect is missing, correction leads to excuses. So stop arguing your value. Stop trying to make her feel guilty enough to treat you right. Stop presenting evidence of your loyalty to someone who already benefited from it. You are not there to convince a woman to see what she has chosen to ignore. This does not mean you become harsh. It means you become clear. Say your standard once. Say it calmly. Then watch behavior. If her actions change, there is something to work with. If her actions stay the same, stop talking and adjust access. Pull back your time, pull back your energy, pull back your emotional investment, not to punish her but to protect the man inside you who has been begging too long. Robert finally stopped explaining. He did not insult Angela. He did not explode. He simply stopped asking her to respect what she had already shown she was willing to take for granted. That silence gave him more dignity than any paragraph ever did. If you are done pleading for basic respect, comment, "I stop arguing." Let's keep going because the next lesson shows why emotional control makes you untouchable. Number 4. Stay cool under pressure. Folks, not every disrespectful tone deserves your voice. Not every cold reply deserves a paragraph. Not every dismissive look deserves your emotional energy. When a woman does not value you, one of the strongest things you can do is stay cool under pressure, because the man who controls his reaction controls the frame. Let us be honest. Many men think expressing pain loudly will finally make her understand. They raise their voice, they send long messages, they break down, they explain how much it hurt, they try to make her feel the weight of what she did. But my friend, if someone only respects you after watching you fall apart, that is not respect. That is temporary guilt. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That is the whole lesson right there. Her attitude is an event. Her silence is an event. Her coldness is an event. Her lack of appreciation is an event. But your response is where your power lives. If she can shift your entire emotional state with one tone, one delay, one look, or one dismissive comment, then she has access to the control room of your mind. That access must end. Staying cool does not mean you become emotionless. You are a man, not a stone. You may feel anger. You may feel embarrassment. You may feel the sting of being taken for granted. But strength is the space between the feeling and the action. Weakness reacts instantly. Strength pauses. Weakness tries to win the moment. Strength protects the future. This is where Stoicism becomes practical. When pressure rises, slow your body down. Breathe before you answer. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Do not rush to defend yourself. Do not turn every uncomfortable moment into a courtroom. Say less but mean more. A calm sentence from a grounded man carries more weight than a desperate speech from a wounded one. If she dismisses you, you do not have to chase her attention. If she mocks your boundary, you do not have to debate it for an hour. If she goes cold to test whether you will panic, let your calm become the answer. Not because you are trying to punish her, but because you refuse to let disrespect turn you into a man you do not respect. And understand this clearly. Emotional control does not mean staying in a bad situation forever. It means you leave cleanly, if leaving is required. You do not explode, insult, beg, or collapse. You observe the pattern. You state your boundary. Then you adjust your access. That is masculine discipline. If you want deeper Stoic lessons on emotional control, boundaries, and masculine discipline, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go further for men who are serious about becoming harder to shake and harder to manipulate. A woman who does not value you may expect emotional reactions, because reactions prove she still has influence. When you stay cool, you break that expectation. She cannot pull you into the same old fight. She cannot feed off your frustration. She cannot use your pain as proof that you are still orbiting her mood. So practice calm like a weapon, but carry it like peace. Keep your face steady. Keep your words clean. Keep your dignity intact. The goal is not to look unaffected. The goal is to be governed. The man who can feel pressure and still choose discipline becomes difficult to control. And that, my friend, is the kind of strength disrespect cannot easily touch. If you are ready to stop leaking power through reaction, comment "I stay cool." Stay tuned, because the next lesson shows why your life must never revolve around her reaction. Number 5. Take back your life. Folks, if your whole day rises and falls based on how one woman treats you, then you are not leading your life anymore. You are renting your peace from someone who may not even value it. That is a dangerous place for a man to live. Let us be honest. When a woman does not value you, the damage is not only in the relationship. It spreads into everything. Your work loses focus. Your sleep gets lighter. Your workouts become inconsistent. Your friends hear from you less. Your mind keeps circling the same questions. Why is she distant? What did I do wrong? Should I text her? Should I wait? Is she losing interest? And before you know it, your life is no longer built around your mission. It is built around her reaction. Think about David, 58, from Tampa. He had been seeing Michelle, 52, for several months. Michelle was attractive, independent, and unpredictable. Some days she was warm and affectionate. Other days she acted distant, cold, and hard to reach. David started adjusting his whole life around her mood. If Michelle texted him in the morning, he felt strong. If she ignored him, he became distracted and tense. If she wanted to see him last minute, he cancelled his own plans. If she pulled away, he lost focus at work. One afternoon, David missed an important client call because he was sitting in his truck, rereading Michelle's messages, trying to figure out what changed. That was the moment he realized how far he had fallen. A grown man with responsibilities, money to manage, health to protect, and a future to build, was letting one woman's inconsistency control his nervous system. That is not love, my friend. That is emotional dependence, dressed up as devotion. Taking back your life starts with one decision. Her mood no longer gets to be the center of your world. Her silence no longer gets to decide your confidence. Her attention no longer gets to become the reward that makes your day feel meaningful. You are a man. You need direction. You need structure. You need purpose strong enough that no woman's behavior can knock you out of yourself. So rebuild your daily order. Wake up at the same time. Train your body. Eat like you respect yourself. Handle your work before you check your phone. Call your family. See your friends. Clean your space. Pay your bills. Walk outside. Read. Think. Build. Do the things that make you feel like a man again, not because she might notice, but because your life deserves your full presence. This is where many men resist. They say, "But I cannot focus. I keep thinking about her." Of course you do. Your mind has been trained to orbit her. You do not break that pattern by waiting to feel ready. You break it by action. You move first, and your emotions follow later. David started small. No phone for the first hour of the morning. Gym 3 times a week. Work blocks with the phone in another room. Dinner with his brother every Thursday again. Within a month, Michelle's mood still existed, but it no longer owned him. That was the beginning of freedom. A woman who values you can be part of your life, but she cannot become the landlord of your identity. If she treats you well, enjoy it. If she pulls away, observe it. But do not abandon your mission because she became inconsistent. Take back your time. Take back your focus. Take back your body. Take back your mornings. Take back the parts of you that started disappearing while you were trying to be chosen. If you are ready to stop living for her reaction, comment, "I control life." Do not go anywhere, because the next lesson shows why your purpose must stand above her attention. Number 6. Put purpose above her. Folks, a woman can be important to you without becoming more important than your purpose. That is the line too many men cross. They meet someone attractive, feel the pull, enjoy the attention, and slowly begin placing her mood above their mission. At first it feels romantic. Later it becomes dangerous. Let us be honest. A man without purpose becomes easy to control. If you do not have a clear direction, her attention becomes your direction. If you do not have standards for your day, her messages become your schedule. If you do not have work that matters, her approval becomes your reward. And once that happens, you stop living like a man with a path. You start living like a man waiting for permission to feel alive. This is why Stoicism matters. Marcus Aurelius said the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That line is not just for war, business, or hardship. It applies here too. If a woman's distance exposes how weak your focus has become, use that discomfort as the way back to your mission. Do not waste the pain. Let it point you toward the part of your life you abandoned. Your purpose must sit above her, not because she is unworthy, but because no relationship can stay healthy when a man places a woman where his principles should be. A strong woman does not want to become your whole identity. She wants to feel that you have a life with weight. A woman who benefits from your weakness, on the other hand, may enjoy being the center of your world because it gives her control. Know the difference. Purpose gives a man structure. It tells him when to wake up, what to build, what to protect, what to improve, and what not to tolerate. Without purpose, you start measuring your value by her warmth. With purpose, you measure your life by your actions. Did you train? Did you work? Did you keep your word? Did you handle your responsibilities? Did you become stronger than yesterday? These questions return power to you. And listen, putting purpose above her does not mean neglecting her. It means you stop neglecting yourself. You can love a woman and still keep your work sacred. You can desire her and still keep your discipline. You can enjoy her presence and still refuse to cancel your growth every time she wants more access. A healthy woman will respect that. An immature one will test it. So make your purpose visible through action. Stop checking your phone before you handle your morning. Stop leaving your goals unfinished because her mood changed. Stop abandoning your workout, your business, your money, your health, and your friendships just because she became distant or demanding. If she values you, she will not need you to become smaller so she can feel bigger. The man who puts purpose first becomes calmer. He does not panic over delayed replies because his day is already full. He does not beg for attention because his life already has direction. He does not chase drama because his energy is assigned to something higher. That is masculine freedom, my friend. Not freedom from desire, but freedom from being ruled by it. You can want her deeply and still choose your path. You can miss her and still show up for your mission. You can feel the pull and still keep walking forward. This is how respect returns first. From yourself, then from everyone who watches you live with order. If you are ready to place your mission above her mood, comment, "I choose purpose." Stick with me because the next lesson shows why your identity must never be rented to someone who does not value you. Number 7. Stop renting your worth. Folks, if your confidence depends on how she treats you today, then your worth is not owned, it is rented. And any woman who does not value you can raise the price whenever she wants. One warm message, and you feel like a man again. One cold reply, and suddenly you question everything about yourself. That is no way to live. Let us be honest. This is where many men get trapped. They do not say it out loud, but their identity becomes tied to her reaction. If she compliments them, they feel powerful. If she ignores them, they feel invisible. If she wants them, they feel desirable. If she pulls away, they feel replaceable. My friend, that is not love. That is emotional dependence, with attraction wrapped around it. Think about James, 54, from Charlotte. He had been dating Vanessa, 49, a woman who was beautiful, confident, and unpredictable. When Vanessa was affectionate, James felt 10 years younger. He walked taller. He worked better. He laughed more. But when she became distant, his whole energy collapsed. He skipped workouts. He checked his phone in meetings. He replayed conversations at night, wondering what he had done wrong. The truth was painful. James had rented his worth to Vanessa's mood. She did not have to disrespect him loudly. She only had to pull back, and he would start shrinking. She did not have to ask him to chase. He did it automatically. She did not have to tell him his value was uncertain. He acted like it was. That is what happens when you let someone else hold the keys to your identity. You stop asking, am I living by my standards? You start asking, does she still want me? You stop measuring yourself by discipline, purpose, character, and self-respect. You start measuring yourself by her tone, her response time, her eye contact, her warmth. That is a dangerous trade. A grounded man does not rent his worth. He owns it. He knows his value before the message arrives. He knows his standards before the woman reacts. He knows his direction before the relationship becomes uncertain. That does not mean he is arrogant. It means he does not outsource his manhood to someone who may not even know how to value it. James began changing when he stopped checking his phone first thing in the morning. He made a rule. Before Vanessa got access to his attention, he had to give attention to his own life. He trained. He prayed. He worked. He read. He cleaned his apartment. He wrote down what kind of man he wanted to be. Slowly, his worth moved back where it belonged, inside him. And when Vanessa pulled away again, something was different. James still felt it. He was not made of stone, but he did not collapse. He did not chase. He did not beg for reassurance. He noticed the emotion and kept moving. That is what ownership looks like. Your worth cannot be leased to her beauty. It cannot be rented to her approval. It cannot depend on whether she desires you today, misses you tomorrow, or chooses you next week. If she values you good, enjoy that. If she does not, your value does not disappear. Her inability to see it is information, not a verdict. So stop living like her attention is the rent you pay to feel masculine. Build your identity on what you control: your discipline, your principles, your health, your work, your honesty, your ability to stay calm when emotions rise. Those things cannot be taken by a cold text or a distant mood. A woman can add to your life, but she cannot become the source of your worth. Not anymore. If you are ready to own your value again, comment, I own worth. Stay with me, because the next lesson shows when walking away becomes the strongest act of self-respect. Number 8. Know when to walk. Folks, one of the hardest lessons a man has to learn is knowing when to walk away. Not because he stopped caring, not because the desire disappeared overnight, not because the memories suddenly mean nothing. He walks because staying has started costing more than leaving. Let us be honest. Some men stay because they think love means enduring anything. They tolerate disrespect, emotional distance, cold replies, cancelled plans, and careless treatment because they believe loyalty requires suffering. They tell themselves, maybe she is stressed, maybe she will change, maybe if I stay patient enough she will finally value me. But my friend, patience without standards becomes self-betrayal. There is a point where walking away is no longer weakness, it is wisdom. If every conversation leaves you questioning yourself, pay attention. If every attempt to express your needs turns into an argument, pay attention. If you feel like you are constantly walking on eggshells just to keep the peace, pay attention. That is not love. That is performance. You are no longer being loved as a man. You are auditioning for basic respect. Epictetus taught, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, but wish that they happen as they do, and your life will go well. That does not mean you become passive. It means you stop fighting reality. If she keeps showing you that she does not value your time, your effort, your peace, or your presence, believe the pattern. Do not keep choosing the fantasy while reality keeps cutting you. A Stoic man does not walk away in rage. He walks away with clarity. He does not need to slam doors, insult her, or prove she lost a good man. He simply sees the truth and acts accordingly. His dignity becomes louder than his attachment. And yes, walking away will hurt. Do not let anyone tell you it will not. You may miss her voice. You may remember the nights when everything felt real. You may think about the way she used to look at you before the disrespect started feeling normal. But missing someone does not mean they belong in your life. Sometimes your heart remembers the beginning while your mind is trying to survive the present. That is why you need standards stronger than emotion. Know when to walk when your peace keeps shrinking. Know when to walk when you keep explaining the same pain to someone who keeps repeating the same behavior. Know when to walk when her access to you costs you sleep, focus, health, and self-respect. Know when to walk when you are no longer growing beside her, but slowly disappearing around her. This does not mean you give up at the first problem. Mature relationships require patience, humility, repair, and honest conversation, but effort must be mutual. If you are the only one carrying the connection, it is not a relationship anymore. It is emotional labor with romantic memories attached. Walking away is not about punishing her. It is about saving the part of you that still knows you deserve peace. It is the moment you stop begging reality to become different and start respecting what it has already shown you. So ask yourself plainly, is her presence making you stronger or smaller? Are you respected or merely tolerated? Are you loved with consistency or kept close for convenience? The answers may hurt, but they will also free you. A man who knows when to walk is not cold. He is awake. He understands that love without respect will drain him, and desire without peace will enslave him. If you are ready to stop staying where you are not valued, comment, I walk wisely. Stay with me, because the next lesson shows why choosing peace over performance can save the man you are becoming. Number 9. Choose peace over performance. Folks, there is a point where staying becomes a performance. You smile when you are tense. You say you are fine when your chest is heavy. You act patient when your spirit is exhausted. You keep showing up like a calm man, but inside you are shrinking every time she makes you question your place in her life. Let us be honest. Many men are not in love anymore. They are performing love. They perform understanding because they do not want to look needy. They perform strength because they are afraid to admit the relationship is draining them. They perform confidence while checking the phone every few minutes. They perform forgiveness because walking away feels too final. Think about Charles, 57, from Atlanta. He had been seeing Patricia, 52, a woman who was charming in public but distant in private. Around friends, she touched his arm, laughed at his stories, and made the connection look warm. But when they were alone, Patricia became cold, distracted, and hard to reach emotionally. Charles kept telling himself she was just tired, just busy, just protecting herself. But deep down he knew the truth. He was acting like a man at peace, while living like a man in quiet anxiety. He performed for months. He planned dinners, kept conversations light, avoided bringing up the same pain, and tried to be the mature one. But peace was not growing. Resentment was. His sleep got worse. His workouts disappeared. His friends noticed he was less present, and still he kept wearing the mask, because he did not want to admit that her presence was costing him more than her absence would. That is what performance does. It protects the image while destroying the man behind it. Peace is different. Peace does not ask you to pretend. Peace asks you to tell the truth, not always out loud. Sometimes the truth is spoken by changing your behavior. Sometimes peace says, I will no longer attend a relationship where I must constantly act less hurt than I am. Sometimes peace says, I will stop trying to look strong and start making the decision a strong man would make. A grounded man does not confuse suffering with loyalty. He knows that love should challenge him, yes, but it should not require him to abandon his nervous system every day. He knows that masculine strength is not measured by how much disrespect he can absorb without speaking. It is measured by how clearly he can choose what protects his dignity. Charles finally chose peace over performance when Patricia dismissed his concerns again. He did not explode. He did not beg. He did not give a dramatic goodbye. He simply said, "This is not working for me anymore," and he meant it. That sentence was not loud, but it carried the weight of a man who had stopped acting. My friend, this is the moment many men fear. Because peace may require you to disappoint someone. Peace may require you to stop being the easy man, the patient man, the man who always absorbs the tension. Peace may require you to let her think you changed, became distant, or stopped caring. Let her think what she needs to think. You are not here to manage her version of the story. You are here to save your own life from slow, emotional erosion. So choose peace. Choose the quiet morning over the anxious night. Choose honest distance over fake closeness. Choose self-respect over romantic theater. If being with her requires you to keep performing, then what you are protecting is not love. It is an illusion. If you are ready to stop acting calm and start living peacefully, comment, I choose peace. Stay close, because the final lesson shows why letting her go completely may be the strongest move you ever make. Number 10. Let her go completely. Folks, letting her go completely is not the same as walking away for a few days and hoping she notices. It is not silent treatment. It is not a strategy to make her panic. It is the final decision of a man who has looked at the pattern long enough and finally stopped lying to himself. Let us be honest. Some women will not value you while you are available. They will enjoy your presence, your attention, your patience, your desire, and your masculine stability. And if you keep returning after every cold season, every careless excuse, every dismissive tone you teach her that your exit is never real, that is why complete release matters. Not half release, not checking her page at night, not keeping one emotional door cracked open, not telling yourself you are done while secretly waiting for her to change. Complete release means you stop carrying her in places where she no longer belongs. Your mornings, your decisions, your self-worth, your future. A man who cannot let go completely stays trapped between memory and reality. He remembers how she looked at him in the beginning, how warm she once was, how close everything felt before the disrespect became normal. So he keeps trying to date the woman she used to be while suffering beside the woman she is choosing to be now. That is a painful prison, my friend. Stoicism teaches you to accept what is not what your desire keeps editing. If her actions show that she does not value, you believe the actions. If her presence keeps stealing your peace, believe the cost. If staying with her makes you smaller, more anxious, more reactive, and less proud of yourself, then the relationship is not asking for more effort. It is asking for an ending. Letting her go completely does not mean you hate her. It means you stop sacrificing yourself to keep access to her. You can wish her well and still close the door. You can remember the good and still refuse the pattern. You can miss her and still know that returning would be self-betrayal. And do not romanticize the pain. Many men mistake suffering for depth. They think if it hurts this much, it must mean she is the one. No, folks. Sometimes it hurts because you attached your nervous system to someone inconsistent. Sometimes it hurts because you waited too long to choose yourself. Pain is not always proof of love. Sometimes pain is proof that you stayed beyond your limit. So let her go in behavior, not just in words. Stop feeding old conversations in your head. Stop rehearsing what you would say if she came back. Stop checking whether she is watching your life. Stop comparing every new woman to the fantasy version of her. Release the need for closure. If closure keeps you attached, your closure can be the truth that you were not valued properly. Then rebuild, quietly, seriously. Return to your body, your work, your brothers, your faith, your sleep, your discipline, your purpose. Fill the space she occupied with things that make you stronger, not distractions that make you numb. A strong man does not replace one dependency with another. He replaces confusion with order. And if she comes back one day, you will not be standing where she left you. You will be different, calmer, clearer, harder to fool, more loyal to your own peace than to her potential. That is what complete release creates, not bitterness, freedom. Let her go completely, my friend, not because she is worthless, but because you are not. A woman who does not value you should not keep owning space inside a man who is finally learning to value himself. That is the line you never cross again. Folks, today you learned how to handle a woman who does not value you without losing yourself in the process. Stop chasing her attention. Let your absence speak. Stop begging for respect. Stay cool under pressure. Take back your life, put purpose above her, and know when it is time to let go completely. The value of this lesson is simple. A man with self-respect does not fight to be treated like he matters. He watches behavior, protects his peace, and walks away from anything that keeps making him smaller. If you want deeper Stoic lessons on emotional control, masculine discipline, boundaries, and relationships, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go further for men who are serious about rebuilding their strength. Subscribe to the channel for more daily Stoic lessons like this. The fastest way to make a woman lose interest is to act like you need her more than you respect yourself. Folks, let us be honest. Most men are not rejected because they are not good enough. They are rejected because they try too hard to prove they are good enough. They chase the reply. They force the joke. They compliment too much. They apologize when they did nothing wrong. They become nervous performers, hoping one perfect line will unlock her heart. But a woman can feel that pressure. She can feel when your desire has turned into need. She can feel when you are watching her face, her mood, her body language, trying to figure out if you still have a chance. And the moment she senses that you are begging for approval, the attraction starts to weaken. My friend, the answer is not to become cold. It is not to play games. It is not to pretend you do not want her. The answer is Stoic self-mastery. You learn to control your emotions, speak with weight, move with calm confidence, listen deeply, and stay centered even when she pulls away. In this video, you will learn how to become the kind of man women naturally feel drawn toward, not because you chase harder, but because you stand stronger. This will change how you date, speak, and carry your desire with control. Subscribe now if you are ready to stop performing and start becoming. Let's get into it. Number 1. Master yourself before her. Folks, before you try to make any woman fall for you, master the man she is going to feel when she is around you. That is where attraction begins, not in the line you use, not in the dinner you pay for, not in the way you try to impress her. It begins in your control over yourself. Let us be honest. Most men walk into dating already off balance. They want her to like them so badly that they start performing. They laugh too hard. They talk too much. They agree too quickly. They watch every small expression on her face like it is a verdict. If she smiles, they relax. If she looks away, they panic. That is not masculine confidence, my friend. That is emotional dependence, wearing a nice shirt. Think about Robert, 48, from Nashville. After his divorce, he started dating again and met Karen, 43, a confident woman who had options and knew it. Robert was a good man. He had a stable job, decent looks, and a kind heart. But every time he was with Karen, he became nervous. He tried to be funnier than he was. He complimented her constantly. He asked if she was having a good time every 10 minutes. He checked his phone after each date, waiting for her message, like it would decide his worth. Karen did not dislike him, but she could feel the pressure. She could feel that Robert wanted her approval more than he trusted himself. And once a woman senses that the pull weakens, she may appreciate the effort, but she does not feel the same deep attraction toward a man who cannot stand steady inside his own skin. This is why Stoicism matters. Stoicism is not about becoming cold or emotionless. It is about becoming governed. You feel desire, but desire does not drive the car. You feel nervous, but nervousness does not control your mouth. You want her, but wanting her does not make you abandon your frame. A woman is not drawn deeply to a man who is trying to earn permission to exist. She is drawn to the man who already belongs to himself, the man who can sit across from her calmly, the man who listens without performing, the man who does not need to fill every silence, the man who can enjoy her beauty, her voice, her presence, without making her responsible for his confidence. Mastering yourself means you stop reacting to every signal. If she is warm, you enjoy it without clinging. If she is distant, you observe without collapsing. If the date goes quiet, you stay relaxed instead of rushing to entertain. If she tests your patience, you respond with calm instead of insecurity. That is how you become different from the men who chase her approval like hungry dogs. Robert finally understood this after Karen pulled back. He stopped asking, "How do I make her want me?" and started asking, "Why do I lose myself around her?" That question changed everything. He slowed down. He trained again. He stopped over-texting. He showed up as himself, not as a man begging to be chosen. His energy became cleaner, calmer, and far more attractive, because it no longer asked her to rescue him. That is the first lesson, folks. Before you lead her emotions, lead your own. Before you try to win her heart, win control over your mind. The man who masters himself does not need to chase. His steadiness does the talking before words do every single time. If you are ready to build attraction from strength, comment, "I master myself." Stay with me, because the next lesson shows why chasing her approval makes you less desirable. Number 2. Stop chasing her approval. Folks, chasing her approval is the fastest way to make your presence feel smaller. The more you try to prove you are worthy of her attention, the more you teach her that you do not fully believe it yourself. And once a woman feels that doubt in you, attraction starts losing its weight. Let us be honest. Most men do not realize they are chasing approval. They think they are being charming, respectful, and attentive. But underneath they are watching her every reaction like a scoreboard. Did she laugh? Did she smile? Did she text back fast enough? Did she sound excited? Did she look impressed? My friend, that is not connection. That is emotional permission seeking. A grounded man does not need every moment to confirm his value. He can enjoy a woman without making her response the judge of his worth. He can compliment her without fishing for validation. He can flirt without needing proof that he is winning. He can walk away from a conversation and still feel whole if she does not give him the reaction he wanted. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That is the lesson here. Her approval is an outside event. Her mood, her response, her interest, her attraction, all of that belongs to her. What belongs to you is your behavior, your discipline, your tone, your patience, and the way you carry yourself when you do not get immediate validation. This is where most men lose their frame. They start adjusting themselves in real time. If she seems quiet, they talk more. If she seems unimpressed, they exaggerate. If she pulls back, they lean forward. If she gives a small compliment, they get hungry for another one. They become reactive, and reactive men are easy to read. Women can feel that. They feel when a man is performing for their approval instead of standing in his own life. They feel when his confidence depends on whether they laugh at the joke. They feel when his desire is mixed with fear. And fear does not create strong attraction. It creates pressure that makes his presence feel heavier than it should. Stop treating her approval like oxygen. You do not look every laugh, every reply, or every moment of warmth. You are not on stage. You are not auditioning for permission to be a man. You are there to see whether the connection is real, whether the energy is mutual, and whether she is worth the attention you are giving. That shift matters. Instead of asking, does she like me, start asking, do I respect how I am showing up? Am I calm? Am I honest? Am I trying too hard? Am I staying true to my standards? Those questions bring power back to you. And do not confuse this with arrogance. A Stoic man is not rude. He is not dismissive. He is not pretending he does not care. He simply refuses to beg for approval. He can be warm, playful, and engaged while still remaining centered. That is the balance most men never master. When you stop chasing approval, your energy changes. You speak slower. You listen better. You stop filling silence with nervous noise. You stop over-explaining. You stop trying to become whatever you think she wants. And that calmness becomes attractive because it communicates one thing clearly. I am already enough, with or without your reaction. If you are done needing approval to feel valuable, comment, I approve myself. Stay with me, because the next lesson shows how the right words can make her feel seen in a way most men never understand. Number 3. Speak to her deeper. Folks, if your words sound like every other man's words, do not be surprised when she forgets them. Most men talk to the surface. They comment on her looks, her smile, her body, her outfit, the obvious things she has heard 1,000 times. And while those compliments may be true, they rarely reach the part of her that wants to feel understood. Let us be honest. A woman knows when a man is speaking from hunger instead of presence. She knows when a compliment is just a doorway to get closer. She knows when you are throwing sweet words at her because you want a reaction, not because you actually see her. That kind of talk may get a polite smile, but it does not create real pull. Speaking deeper means your words show attention. It means you notice what other men rush past. Her discipline, her humor, her intelligence, her way of handling stress, the way her eyes change when she talks about something that matters, the strength behind her softness, the pain she hides behind being capable. That is where your words start carrying weight. Think about James, 51, from Seattle. He met Denise, 47, at a small business event. Denise was attractive, polished, and used to men complimenting her appearance. James could have said what every other man said. You look beautiful. You have a great smile. You are stunning. Nothing wrong with those words, but they would have disappeared into the pile. Instead, James listened. Denise talked about rebuilding her career after a difficult divorce, raising her teenage daughter, and learning to trust herself again. James did not interrupt with advice. He did not try to turn the conversation toward himself. He simply paid attention. Then he said, Denise, I respect how much strength you carry without making a show of it. Most people would not see that, but I do. That line landed, not because it was fancy, not because it was some trick. It landed because it was specific, grounded, and true. Denise felt seen beyond the surface. And, my friend, that is what most men never give a woman. They desire her body, but they do not study her spirit. They want her attention, but they do not understand her inner world. Now listen, this does not mean you become overly emotional or start delivering dramatic speeches. Do not turn every conversation into a movie scene. Speak simply, speak honestly, speak with control. A strong compliment does not need to be long. It needs to be accurate. It needs to show that you are present enough to notice what is real. This is where Stoic discipline helps. A Stoic man listens before he speaks. He does not rush to fill silence. He does not use words as bait. He uses words with intention. When he praises, it is not because he is trying to buy affection. It is because he sees something worth naming. And be careful with cheap flattery. If you overcompliment, your words lose value. If every small thing is amazing, incredible, beautiful, and perfect, she stops believing you. Scarcity gives words power. Say less, but make it matter. Let your words feel earned, not sprayed around like cologne. Speaking deeper also means asking better questions, not interview questions, not boring questions. Ask about what shaped her, what she is proud of, what she had to overcome, what peace means to her now. Then listen like a man who is not waiting to impress, but truly interested. If you are ready to use words with real weight, comment, "I speak deeply." Let's keep going because words can open the door, but your actions decide whether you are allowed to stay there. Number 4. Use her name slowly. Folks, a woman's name is not filler. It is not something you throw into every sentence like a cheap trick. Used correctly, her name can make a simple moment feel personal, focused, and intimate. Used poorly, it feels forced, needy, and strange. The difference is control. Let us be honest. Most men either never use her name, or they use it like they learned a technique from a dating book. They say it too often. They lean on it too hard. They make the conversation feel like a sales pitch. My friend, that is not presence. That is performance. And women can feel performance immediately. When you use her name slowly, you are doing something subtle. You are telling her, "I see you," not the role she plays, not just the face, the body, the smile, or the attention she gives you. You are speaking to her as a specific woman, a real person in front of you. That matters because many men talk at women. Few men actually speak to them. Stoicism teaches us to speak with intention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That is the standard. Do not use her name to manipulate a feeling. Do not use it to fake depth. Use it when the moment is real, when your words carry weight, when you want her to feel that you are present. Think about the difference. If you say her name every 30 seconds, it starts losing power. But if you are listening to her talk about something important, and then you pause and say, "Sarah, I respect how honest you are about that," the name lands differently. It slows the moment down. It makes the compliment feel directed, not generic. It tells her you are not just saying something pleasant, you are speaking to her. That is why pacing matters. Slow language has weight. A grounded man does not rush his words like he is afraid silence will expose him. He allows space. He lets a name land. He does not crowd the moment. That calm use of her name can create quiet tension because it feels personal without feeling desperate. But listen closely. Her name is not a magic button. It will not replace character, confidence, emotional control, or real attention. If your energy is needy using, her name will not save you. If you are not listening, it will sound hollow. The power comes from presence first, words second. Her name should confirm your attention, not cover the lack of it. That is why restraint matters more than repetition. So use it at key moments. When you are giving a sincere compliment, when you are acknowledging something meaningful, when you are setting a calm boundary, when you are expressing gratitude. Keep it simple, keep it rare, keep it honest. That is what makes it masculine. And if you want deeper lessons on masculine communication, emotional control, and stoic presence in relationships, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go further into the details most men never practice. A woman remembers how a man makes her feel in small moments. Her name, spoken with calm confidence, can make her feel seen where cheap compliments never will. Just do not force it. Let it come from attention, not strategy. Let it be part of a real conversation, not a tool you are trying to use on her. A stoic man does not need tricks when his presence is honest. If you are ready to speak with more control, comment, "I speak wisely." Stay with me because the next lesson shows how to compliment what other men are too distracted to notice. Number 5. Compliment what others miss. Folks, if your compliment sounds like something she has heard from 20 other men, it will not move her. A beautiful woman already knows men. Notice her face, her body, her smile, and the way she walks into a room. That kind of attention may flatter her for a second, but it rarely reaches deeper. If you want your words to stand out, stop praising only what is obvious and start noticing what other men overlook. Let us be honest. Most men compliment from desire, not observation. They say, "You look amazing," because they want her to feel their attraction. Nothing wrong with that, But if that is all you ever say, she will place you in the same crowd as every man who only sees the surface. A woman can feel when your words are hungry. She can also feel when they are precise. Think about Michael, 55, from San Diego. He met Angela, 49, at a charity dinner. Angela was elegant, confident, and used to men commenting on her looks. Michael noticed that right away, but he also watched how she handled the room. She remembered names. She made nervous people feel comfortable. She asked thoughtful questions instead of just waiting to talk. Later, when they stepped aside from the crowd, Michael said, "Angela, I like how you make people feel included without trying to be the center of attention. That is rare." That compliment landed because it named something real. It did not reduce her to beauty. It recognized her character. And my friend, a woman who feels recognized at that level, remembers the man who saw it. This is the power of complimenting what others miss. You are not just throwing words at her. You are proving that your attention has depth. You notice her discipline, her intelligence, her warmth, her humor, her patience, her resilience, the way she carries pressure without making everyone else carry it too. Those compliments feel different because they require presence, but do not overdo it. A strong compliment is like a good drink. One is smooth, too many become sloppy. If you praise every little thing, your words lose value. A grounded man lets compliments breathe. He does not chase a reaction after he gives one. He says it calmly, means it, then lets the moment stand. And here is something important. Do not use deep compliments as a trick to buy closeness. That kind of energy ruins the whole thing. If you compliment her strength, mean it. If you admire her mind, mean it. If you notice her kindness, mean it. Women can sense when words are being used as bait. Stoic communication is clean. It is honest, controlled, and rooted in what is true. Michael did not compliment Angela to corner her into liking him. He simply named what he saw. That made him different. He was not begging for approval. He was not worshipping her beauty. He was showing that his desire had discernment behind it. So the next time you compliment a woman, slow down. Ask yourself, what does every man see, and what am I actually noticing? Maybe it is her courage after a hard season. Maybe it is how sharp her mind is. Maybe it is the quiet way she protects the people she loves. Speak to that, and say it without leaning forward, without fishing for praise, without waiting to be rewarded. Let your words be a clean mirror, not a hook. That is where connection begins to deepen. If you are ready to speak with rare attention, comment, "I notice depth." Let us keep going, because the next lesson shows why over-apologizing can quietly drain your masculine strength. Number 6. Stop apologizing like weakness. Folks, an apology should come from strength, not fear. A real apology is clean. It takes responsibility, corrects the mistake, and keeps your dignity intact. But when a man apologizes for every silence, every opinion, every boundary, every harmless preference, he stops looking respectful and starts looking afraid. Let us be honest. Many men say sorry because they want to keep the mood warm. They apologize when she is irritated, even if they did nothing wrong. They apologize for taking time to answer. They apologize for having plans. They apologize for disagreeing. They apologize for being tired. After a while, sorry no longer means I made a mistake. It starts meaning, please do not withdraw from me. That is weakness, my friend. Not because a man should never apologize. A mature man absolutely apologizes when he causes harm, breaks his word, or acts without integrity. But he does not apologize for existing. He does not apologize for having standards. He does not apologize for being a man with a life, a schedule, a viewpoint, and a backbone. Epictetus said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you want to be a grounded man, then act like one. Do not let every shift in her tone make you kneel emotionally. Do not let fear of conflict turn your mouth into a machine that produces apologies just to avoid discomfort. Women can feel the difference. A sincere apology creates respect because it shows accountability. A fearful apology creates doubt because it shows instability. If she senses that you are apologizing just to keep access to her warmth, your frame weakens. She may not even say it out loud, but she feels that you are trying to manage her emotions by shrinking yourself. And attraction does not grow when a man keeps shrinking. The Stoic way is simple. Own what is yours. Refuse what is not. If you were careless, apologize. If you spoke harshly, apologize. If you broke trust, apologize and repair it with action. But if she is upset because you held a reasonable boundary, do not apologize for the boundary. If she is irritated because you will not cancel your life for her convenience, do not apologize for having priorities. If she dislikes your honest opinion, do not apologize for speaking calmly and truthfully. There is a powerful line between humility and submission. Humility says, I can admit when I am wrong. Submission says, I will call myself wrong so you do not leave. One builds respect. The other invites control. So change how you speak. Instead of saying, sorry, I could not answer sooner, say I was tied up, but I am here now. Instead of saying, sorry, I already made plans, say, I have plans tonight, but we can talk tomorrow. Instead of saying, sorry, I feel this way, say, this is where I stand. Calm, direct, no aggression, no begging. That tone tells her you are considerate but not available for emotional training. A man with self-respect does not weaponize silence, and he does not overuse apology. He understands that words shape how people experience him. If sorry is always on your tongue, people start assuming your position is always negotiable. Let your apology mean something again. Use it when your character requires it, not when your fear demands it. That is how you stay honorable without becoming weak. That is how you show a woman you can care without collapsing. If you are done apologizing for your own backbone comment, I stand firm. Stick with me because the next lesson shows how your body can speak confidence before your words even begin. Number 7. Move with calm confidence. Folks, before a woman hears your words, she reads your body. The way you stand, the way you walk, the way you hold eye contact, the way you sit, in silence, all of it speaks before your mouth opens. And if your body is restless, rushed, tense, or hungry for approval, she feels it. Let us be honest. Most men think confidence is something they have to announce. They talk louder. They tell bigger stories. They try to dominate the room. But real confidence is quieter than that. It is in the man who does not rush. The man who does not fidget. The man who does not scan the room like he is, afraid he does not belong there. The man who moves like he is already comfortable in his own skin. Think about Daniel, 52, from Tampa. He met Rebecca, 47, at a rooftop dinner arranged by mutual friends. Daniel was successful, but he had not dated seriously since his marriage ended. At first he was nervous. He tapped his fingers on the table, adjusted his watch, looked around the room and kept checking whether Rebecca seemed impressed. His words were fine, but his body told a different story. It said, I hope I am enough, Rebecca noticed. Not because she was judging him harshly, but because women feel tension. They pick up on the small signals. A man can say he is confident, but if his shoulders are tight, his eyes keep darting away, and his movements feel rushed, his body exposes the truth. Then Daniel caught himself. He slowed down. He planted his feet. He relaxed his shoulders. He stopped trying to fill every pause. When Rebecca spoke, he held eye contact for a moment, then looked away naturally. He did not stare like a man trying to force intensity. He looked at her like a man who was present, calm and comfortable. That shift changed the entire date. Rebecca leaned in more. Her answers got longer. The conversation felt less like an interview and more like a connection. Daniel did not become a different man. He simply stopped, letting nervous energy drive his body. That is the power of calm confidence. It does not shout. It does not chase. It does not beg to be noticed. It communicates strength through control. A grounded man walks with purpose because he is not rushing to earn a place. He already knows he belongs in his own life. So start with the basics. Stand tall, but do not stiffen. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Breathe from your belly, not your chest. Move slower than your anxiety wants you to move. When you sit, do not collapse into the chair like you are hiding. Take up natural space without acting like you own the building. There is a difference between presence and arrogance. Presence is calm. Arrogance is performance. Eye contact matters too. Do not avoid it like a boy afraid of being seen. But do not lock onto her like you are trying to prove dominance. Hold her gaze long enough to show attention, then let it breathe. That rhythm creates comfort and tension at the same time. Your body should tell her, I am here, I am steady, and I am not easily shaken. That message is more attractive than any clever line. Because when a woman feels that your body is calm, she can relax into the moment. She does not feel like she has to manage your nerves. Daniel learned that night that attraction is not only what you say, it is how your nervous system enters the room. Move with control, and your presence speaks before you do. If you are ready to let your body show strength, comment, I move calmly. Stay tuned, because the next lesson shows how small gestures can create a deeper pull than big performances. Number 8. Make small gestures count. Folks, big performances are overrated. A woman may enjoy a grand dinner, a dramatic surprise, or some expensive gift, but what often stays with her longer are the small gestures that prove you are actually listening. That is where most men fail. They try to impress loudly, but they do not notice quietly. Let us be honest. Any man with money can buy flowers. Any man can send a predictable good morning text. Any man can make a big speech when he feels he is losing her. But a grounded man pays attention before the moment becomes desperate. He remembers what matters. He notices the details. He acts with intention instead of trying to overwhelm her with effort. This is where Stoicism becomes practical. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as if it were your last." That does not mean every action has to be dramatic. It means every action should be done with presence. If you are going to listen, listen fully. If you are going to give, give thoughtfully. If you are going to show care, make it clean, simple, and real. Small gestures work because they show attention without pressure. Maybe she mentioned a book she loved years ago, and later you bring up something connected to it. Maybe she said she had a difficult meeting and you ask how it went without turning it into a performance. Maybe she told you she likes quiet mornings, so you plan something peaceful instead of dragging her into noise. These are not tricks, my friend. These are signs that your attention has weight. But understand this clearly. Small gestures only matter when they come from strength. If you use them to buy approval, she will feel the neediness behind them. If every thoughtful act carries an invisible question, "Do you like me now?" then the gesture becomes pressure. A Stoic man gives without begging for a reward. He notices because he is present, not because he is trying to earn affection like a starving man. Women remember how you make ordinary moments feel. Not because they are weak, but because emotional memory is powerful. When you show that you heard something she only said once, she feels seen. When you follow through without being asked twice, she feels respected. When you notice her mood without making her explain everything, she feels safer around you. That kind of care creates attraction because it is rare. Most men are either too distracted or too focused on themselves. They are busy planning what to say next, how to impress, how to look confident, how to move the interaction forward. Meanwhile, the man who simply pays attention stands out without forcing anything. And let us call it what it is. Small gestures are not about becoming her servant. Do not confuse thoughtfulness with overgiving. If you are always doing things for a woman who gives nothing back, you are not being romantic. You are training her to consume your effort. The goal is not to flood her with attention. The goal is to show controlled care when it is deserved. So keep it balanced. Remember details, follow through, show gratitude, check in when it matters. Choose gestures that fit who she is, not what every dating article says women want. A mature woman can feel when a gesture is personal. She can also feel when it is copied, forced, or used as bait. Small gestures count because they reveal your character. They tell her you are not just chasing excitement, you are capable of presence, memory, consistency, and care. Those qualities build trust. And trust, when paired with masculine confidence, becomes deeply attractive. If you are ready to show care with intention, comment, "I act thoughtfully." Let us keep going, because the next lesson shows how staying calm when tested can make you stand out from every reactive man around her. Number 9. Stay calm when tested. Folks, a woman will learn more about you from one difficult moment than from 10 smooth conversations. Anyone can look confident when the night is easy, the restaurant is good, the conversation flows, and she is giving you warmth. The real test comes when something goes wrong, when she pulls back, when the plan changes, when silence enters the room, or when she says something that touches your pride. Let us be honest. Most men are not defeated by rejection. They are defeated by their reaction to it. They panic, they over-explain, they send too many texts, they ask what changed. They try to fix the mood because they cannot tolerate uncertainty. And the moment they do that, their frame starts leaking power. Think about Marcus, 54, from Denver. He had been seeing Natalie, 49, a successful woman who valued emotional steadiness. On their third date, the restaurant lost their reservation. The host was dismissive, Natalie looked annoyed, and Marcus felt pressure rising in his chest. Years ago, he would have rushed to apologize for something that was not his fault, complained to the staff, or tried too hard to make the evening perfect. But this time he stayed calm. He smiled, looked at Natalie and said, "Looks like dinner is testing us early. There is a quiet place 2 blocks down. Let us make this easy. No drama, no panic, no performance." Natalie watched him handle the inconvenience without turning it into a crisis. That moment did more for attraction than any clever line could have done. Later, Natalie pulled back for a few days. Marcus noticed the silence, but he did not chase it. He did not send 5 messages asking if she was still interested. He did not invent a story in his head and punish her for it. He gave space, stayed focused on his work, and let the connection breathe. When she reached out, he answered warmly but not hungrily. That is the difference between calm strength and emotional dependence. This is where Stoicism becomes real. Not in quotes on the wall, but in the seconds where your ego wants to react. When a woman tests your patience, your insecurity, or your need for control, she is not always doing it consciously. Sometimes life is imperfect. Sometimes she is unsure. Sometimes she is watching whether you can remain steady when the energy shifts. A reactive man makes every shift about his worth. A stoic man observes before he responds. He asks, "What is actually happening, and what story am I adding to it?" That question protects him from acting out of fear. It keeps him from turning a small test into a big loss. Calmness does not mean you become passive. If she disrespects you, you address it. If she plays games, you step back. If she crosses a line, you hold the line. But you do it without shaking. No begging. No emotional explosion. No long speech designed to make her feel guilty. Just clear, grounded action. Women notice this more than men think. She notices when you do not crumble under awkwardness. She notices when you do not chase after every mood. She notices when you can handle discomfort without making her carry your anxiety. That kind of steadiness makes you stand out, because most men are ruled by reactions. So train yourself. Breathe before answering. Pause before texting. Let silence exist. Stop trying to make every moment perfect. Your power is not in controlling every situation. Your power is in controlling yourself when the situation is not ideal. If you are ready to stay centered under pressure, comment, "I stay calm." Stay close, because the final lesson shows why the man you become matters more than any move you make. Number 10. Be the man first. Folks, at the end of all this, here is the truth. No line, no gesture, no eye contact, no clever compliment, and no dating strategy will save a man who is not solid inside himself. You can learn what to say. You can improve how you move. You can practice staying calm. But if all of it is just a performance to get a woman, she will eventually feel the act. Be the man first. That means stop building your identity around whether she likes you, texts you, wants you, or chooses you. A woman can be part of your life, but she cannot be the source of your manhood. The moment you need her approval to feel complete, you stop leading. You start reacting. You start performing. You start becoming whatever you think will keep her close. Let us be honest. Most men do not lose attraction because they lack information. They lose attraction because they lack integration. They know they should stay calm, but they panic when she pulls away. They know they should speak with confidence, but they over-explain. They know they should stop chasing, but they still check the phone every few minutes. Knowledge is easy. Becoming is hard. Stoicism is not a costume you put on for a date. It is a way of living. It is how you handle disappointment. It is how you speak when you are frustrated. It is how you act when nobody is watching. It is how you treat your body, your work, your money, your family, your time, and your peace. If you only act disciplined around women, you are not disciplined. You are performing discipline. A woman can feel the difference between a man who is trying to look valuable and a man who has actually built value. The first man keeps trying to prove. The second man simply exists with weight. He does not need to be loud. He does not need to dominate. He does not need to chase. His life carries evidence. So ask yourself, my friend, who are you when she is not around? Are you still training your body? Are you still keeping your word? Are you still handling your responsibilities? Are you still growing your mind? Are you still living with purpose? When no woman is watching, praising, or rewarding you, that is where real attraction is born. Not in the performance, in the private standard. Being the man first means you stop trying to become someone only for her. You become stronger because your life demands it. You become calmer because your peace matters. You become more honest because your character matters. You become more grounded because you are tired of being controlled by outside reactions. And when you live like that, women feel it. Your words sound different because they come from a real place. Your body moves differently because you are not begging the room for permission. Your attention feels stronger because you are choosing, not chasing. Your desire feels cleaner because it is not mixed with neediness. That is the man she remembers, not the man who tried the hardest, not the man who gave the most compliments, not the man who performed the best version of a dating script. She remembers the man who belonged to himself. Be true to yourself does not mean stay the same forever. It means stop pretending while you improve. Keep your flaws in front of you. Work on them. Build your discipline. Sharpen your presence. Become more patient, more direct, more grounded, more capable. But do it from truth, not desperation. The right woman is not drawn to the mask. She is drawn to the man behind it, when that man is strong enough to stand without one. So stop asking, how do I make her fall for me? Start asking, what kind of man am I becoming? Because when that answer becomes powerful, everything else changes. Folks, today you learned that attraction is not about chasing harder, performing better, or trying to become whatever she wants in the moment. It starts with self-mastery. Your words, your body language, your calmness, your presence, and your character all matter because they reveal the man behind the desire. When you stop begging for approval and start living with discipline, you become different. You become steady. You become grounded. You become the kind of man who does not need to chase because his presence already carries weight. If you want deeper Stoic lessons on masculine confidence, emotional control, dating, and relationships, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go further, for men who are serious about becoming stronger from the inside out. Subscribe to the channel for more daily Stoic lessons like this. Thank you for watching, my friend. Stay calm, stay disciplined, and I will see you tomorrow. Nothing.